When the Galaxy Note 3 was released, it also brought with it a pretty stellar tablet release in the Note 10.1 2014 edition. Moving into the Pro territory, however, meant updating the rest of the tablets. And in the case of the Tab Pro 10.1, is it more than just a Note 10.1 without the S Pen? Well, let's take a look, because it's Josh Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is the Samsung Galaxy Tab Pro 10.1. From the get-go, you might think that you already know what to expect from the Galaxy Tab Pro 10.1. After all, the faux leather that was started in the Note Pro 10.1 2014 edition returns here and rounds out what is essentially the standard Samsung affair when it comes to pretty much all their devices. The buttons on the front come in the usual trio, though the menu button has been replaced by a recent apps button. And as is the case for many 10-inch tablets, the power button and volume rocker are found up top when looking at portrait mode. And then you also have the dual speakers on the sides that are predicated by a micro SD card slot, which is found on the right side. When you have this tablet in the hand, it does pretty much handle the way you would expect a 10-inch tablet to feel. It is just a little bit bigger than would allow for some easy typing, but also it provides a really great experience when it comes to all of the media, especially because of this screen. Using the thin profile and the flat sides allow for a somewhat easy grip, but ultimately handling this tablet will be just a little bit more of a chore than it is a breeze. Where Samsung really didn't want to compromise is with the Pro tablet's screen resolution, which all come with 2560 by 1600 high-resolution goodness across the board. And on a 10-inch tablet, we may have already seen this resolution with the Nexus 10, but it works just as well here, if not better. 299 pixels per inch provide good sharpness for all of the text you might want to read on here, and the colors shine through as you would expect from a Samsung display. While we are more fans of the sub-10-inch form factors, there is still much merit in having a 10-inch screen tablet, and the Tab Pro proves exactly why, providing a very fun experience. Performance was also a non-compromising area, as the non-LTE version we're working with here sports the Exynos 5 Octa with a 1.9 and 1.3 GHz quad-core combo, backed by Mali T628 graphics. And as you would expect, the processing package gets the job done even under the heavy load called TouchWiz. Yes, there are instances of stutter here and there, but that is more TouchWiz's issue than the processors. So nonetheless, the general performance and multitasking capabilities of this tablet are not in question, as you can get whatever you need done provided you've wrestled with the software to get there in the first place. Now, this is not a comparison with the Note 10.1 obviously, but we will say that the lack of an S Pen is made up for by what is otherwise a standard tablet fare that has everything Samsung could possibly add in thrown in. The 16 or 32 gigabytes of onboard storage gets the boost from the always welcome micro SD card slots. If you really do need mobile internet connectivity, there is an LTE version of the Galaxy Tab 10.1 that sports the Snapdragon 800 instead as its processor. The dual speakers are always a welcome sight, and on the Tab Pro 10.1 they certainly get the job done, allowing for very loud volumes in order to easily share your media with anyone around to watch or listen. Extra Samsung connectivity also makes a return in the form of Watch On, this pretty robust controller system that allows you to manipulate things like televisions, basically consolidating your tablet and TV viewing experience. And finally, the battery was also a case of no compromises, as you get a huge 8220 mAh unit in here that really powers this thing for days, quite literally, as with the right usage you should be able to get anywhere between 2 and 3 days worth of usage, and with heavy usage you should still be able to have some charge even when you go to bed. It's pretty much a given nowadays that cameras on tablets are considered rather secondary, but that doesn't mean Samsung isn't trying to put its best foot forward. What we get here is an 8-megapixel shooter that is backed by an app sporting quite a few features, including some of the very modes found in the Galaxy S and Note series devices. It's hardly a primary camera, primarily because you probably won't be taking shots out in public with this tablet, but when you do need it in a pinch, the camera here can certainly get the job done. And finally, we come to software. Now, if you followed our other Pro tablet reviews, you would know by now that while an enhanced version of TouchWiz does bring some new things to the table, it's basically still TouchWiz, which is perhaps its biggest flaw. After all, the often bloated and otherwise pretty cluttered motif of Samsung's UI gets the addition of the Magazine UX, which was once an exciting new addition only to be bogged down by bugs. Used primarily as a front end to Flipboard, the second screens don't provide more than just glimpses into news sources, and when you actually want to dive in, it takes you through the layers of the app before you can finally get to your destination. Not to mention the hangups you might run into when you're trying to customize the experience are certainly very sad to see. Outside of the magazine UX, you still get the same multitasking abilities with the multi-window, which works as you would expect from the Samsung device. And for anyone out there used to a more stock-like experience in Android, the recent apps button brings back a familiar form of multitasking to the fray, which turns out to be very useful. In the end, all of the magazine pages and even all of the small aesthetic changes that were added into this tablet don't really shake the fact that you're still using TouchWiz. And in the end, that's really the only thing holding it back. Because while TouchWiz is one of the most full-feature software suites out there, it is also not perfect at doing any one of those things. The Galaxy Tab Pro 10.1 has just started going on sale for the hefty price of $499. While you do get quite a few extras in the installed software suite and added vouchers for various services, the question for the vast majority of users is if that price justifies the core experience. And the answer to that question will depend on how powerful you want your tablet experience to be. Since the tablet experience is heavily media-based, the Tab Pro provides everything you might need to make that fun experience a reality. But you get what you pay for, and in the case of the high-resolution screen and the powerful performance, it's just unfortunate that the software experience is so inconsistent. But you might have already expected that from a Samsung device. And if you can get past the high price tag, you just might have one of the best 10-inch tablets out there today. And so everybody, thank you guys very much for watching as always, and make sure you stay tuned for more coverage from Android Authority. The written companion will soon be available on androidauthority.com for you to see benchmarks and screenshots of the UI itself, cluttered as it might be. So until then, drop us some likes on our videos because we love to see those thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and watch all of our content from the likes of Joe, Jason, Kevin, the Tech Ninja. And once you're done with all of that, don't forget to go over to androidauthority.com because it is your source for all things Android.